Houston, we have a problem.
I have a really bad feeling about this.
A boy's best friend is his mother.
Hasta la vista, baby.
Nobody puts baby in a corner.
Roads? Where we're going, we don't need roads. Frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn.
Silent breed is people!
Yo, Adrian! I did it!
Let's put a smile on that face.
I gotta warn you, Clark. They don't play the same games here as they do at them regular casinos.
Royale, too.
Welcome back to Casino Royale with Cheese, the show where we discuss movies that were number one at the box office exactly 20 years ago. My name is Shane. With me today, I have the man that just masturbated for the first time last week. This is Mike.
Straight dragon, bro.
It's funny, man. That was my favorite part of this movie.
Oh, the jacking?
Yeah, I love that whole running gag in this thing. It's so dumb, but it's great, man. No, I'm good, brother. How are you?
I'm pretty good, you know. Just a lazy, rainy day around the house, so just doing some house cleaning. Yeah. Folks are coming up tomorrow, so just getting ready for mom and dad to come by.
Oh, awesome. There you go. Yeah, that should be good. Good deal.
What's up with you?
Oh, I just kicking back, enjoying my Fire Stick. Thanks to the, what was it? I guess at your guys' behest, I received one.
Yeah.
And then I got new Star Trek DVDs for my birthday, so I'm loving life, man.
They're still making Star Trek shit?
They have a new show, but these were older shows like Voyager and Deep Space Nine that I didn't already have, so I wanted.
I didn't even know those were Star Trek shows.
Mm-hmm, they are. One of them has a dude from this movie in it, actually, so there you go.
Which dude?
Paris.
Paris. Which one's Paris?
He's the boss.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
The House of Paris.
Mm-hmm. This is a movie that we had seen, that I hadn't seen, but you had seen before, you said.
Yeah.
What are we talking? Well, go ahead.
We're talking about the big hit, starring Mark Wahlberg. Lou Diamond Phillips is in there. Christina Applegate. Some big names from back in the day.
Yeah, fairly big. I think at this point, Lou Diamond Phillips kind of like hit his stride with, what was that? With Young Guns?
Yeah.
And it was one of those that I don't think that he ever really went above and beyond that, I'm going to say. But
for some reason in my memory, Lou Diamond Phillips has been in a ton of things.
He has been. He was, everything from blockbuster movies all the way down to, I think he did some kind of a biblical, the voice work for some type of Bible cartoon or something like that. Like he was in 24 with Kiefer. He did the voice work on a couple PlayStation 2 X-Men games, just random stuff,
Wasn't he Richie Valens in La Bamba though?
Oh, that's a good question. I can look that up. Actually.
I'm pretty sure he was, man. That was his huge role.
Was it? See, I don't think I've seen La Bamba.
Oh, you're missing out.
But yeah, it is him. 1987. Look at that. It has a decent rating on IMDb.
Yeah, it's a good flick. It's all about the day music died.
Yeah. Huh. So not John Denver, huh?
No.
Okay. Anyway, no. So, do you remember anything about? Because you said that you'd seen this. Is it something you watch regularly, or?
No, I remember this movie. I didn't know when it came out in the theater. I know I didn't go see it then, and I think it was something I kind of stumbled upon in a blockbuster.
Yeah.
I was like, "What's this?" And I flipped over the cover and saw who was in it, and I was like, "This is gonna be good." And I took it home and watched it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I recall you saying that you were pleasantly surprised whenever you did.
Yeah, when I watched it, 18, 19 years ago, I liked it.
Yeah, that's good. I guess that has to do more so with, what is it here? I was going to take a look because you've mentioned on more than one occasion that you're a pretty big fan of Mark Wahlberg.
Yes.
What would you say is your all-time favorite Mark Wahlberg movie?
Oh boy, I can tell you what my least favorite Mark Wahlberg movie is.
Oh, I'm anxious to hear this. All right.
The Happening.
It's funny because when I was going over this in my head. I was actually going to ask you about that during this thing. I'm glad you brought it up. No, that's a horrible movie, and he's horrible in it. So there you go.
Well, it's just a bad movie.
Yeah, it's horrible, atrocious.
He's talking to plants and shit.
I gotta say, if you're the kind of person that really enjoys watching bad movies, then that one might be right up your alley. Because man, it is entertaining in how awful it is, But
yeah, it's what they call an unintentional comedy.
Right, so bad it's good type thing. Yeah. Mm-hmm. With me, I would have to say I really like him in The Fighter with Christian Bale. Yeah. And he was also in The Departed.
Oh, that's really good.
Yeah. Although that was more of an ensemble cast, but he was still pretty great in it. It was pretty fun.
Did you like Three Kings?
I never saw Three Kings.
Oh, it's pretty good.
I heard it's cheesy but really enjoyable, fun. So
it's fun to watch. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think he's in Four Brothers.
Mm-hmm. Never saw that one.
That's good
Everybody
too.
tells me I should. I love it.
Yeah, he's in a bunch of movies. I mean, he's in a ton of movies.
Mm-hmm.
One of my favorite roles though he's ever played was in Fear. And
oh really? Oh, I'm not a Reese Witherspoon fan at all. So.
Oh, what?
I can't follow you down that road. No. Our friend Jared would actually be really disappointed because he's ate up with her, but no.
Yeah, he wants to leave his wife for her.
Yep. Fortunately, I think Lee's safe, but whatever.
Yeah, I don't think Jared has much shot with Reese Witherspoon.
Yeah, it'd be all right. But yeah, so it is what it is. But no, I have zero familiarity with this movie. I know that you had said that you watched it, and so in kind of preparation for doing this, I actually wound up watching the movie, the trailer for it, and I watched it, and it gives a horrible idea of what this movie's about. I'm just sitting there watching it, and it looked like mass chaos, which I guess isn't inaccurate.
Right.
But yeah.
There's some definite mass chaos moments in this movie.
Mm-hmm. You're actually probably going to need to have to be a crutch for me on some of this because there were some parts of it that it was just so much shit going on that I was like, I guess I missed that. I don't know. The format in which I was watching it, I would have turned the subtitles on, but it wasn't an option. Take that for what you will,
Bootleg.
I'm neither confirming nor denying, But anyway, no, this was released by Sony Columbia Pictures, April 24th, 1998. It was made on a budget of, how much was it? Oh, $13 million. So, yeah, any guesses as to how much box office glory this thing saw, Mike?
Well, I'm going to say it was a number one only for 1 week.
That is correct.
And man, it probably made 26 million.
Man, you're right there, dude. It was it brought in $27,007,000. So you're on the crisp of it right there, dude.
I almost said 27 million. Damn it.
Yeah, man, you were close. But yeah, that's pretty good. It was directed by a guy that I had never heard of, and I think he's only done a couple of things stateside movie-wise. It was produced by John Woo, and I was telling you a little bit before, my opinion of John Woo is, shaky at best.
Yeah, you said he did Broken Arrow and Wind Talkers.
Yeah. He did Mission Impossible 2, Face Off.
That's good.
A bunch of movies. That
Face
I
Off is
don't
awesome.
care for. No, it's not.
Oh.
You're wrong. He did this one. He did a movie in 1993 called Crime Story, and the rest of it is all, I assume, Chinese stuff. He's done, I think, a movie or two with like Jackie Chan, but that's the gist of that. But I would venture to say that John Woo is not my cup of tea. I've heard that his Asian movies are way better than his American movies, but whatever. This has Mark Wahlberg, Lou Diamond Phillips, Christina Applegate, Avery Brooks, who plays Paris, and also Commander Benjamin Sisko on Star Trek Deep Space Nine. Bokeem Woodbine, he's the one that played Crunch, the one that's loves masturbating.
Yeah.
But I know I've seen him in some stuff, and I was looking through his IMDb, and none of it was really ringing any bells, but I could swear I've seen that dude in at least a couple of things. But
You definitely have.
yeah. He was, what was it? Antonio Sabato Jr., China Chow. We got Elliot Gould.
Whatever happened to Antonio Sabato Jr., man? Wasn't he a big deal for a while?
Man, I don't know, because, you would think, from my impression, I haven't seen a ton of his stuff, but he wasn't necessarily, I don't think, like a bad actor. I mean, I know he did some, soap opera stuff, but usually if you're a decent-looking dude that has any kind of acting ability, then you'll do all right in Hollywood, So I couldn't tell you, man.
I don't know. I thought he was a big deal for a while, but I can't recall anything of his right now.
Well, I'm trying to look here and see if there's anything that kind of sticks out recently that I would have seen him in. I guess he was in the Three Stooges movie that came out, but it was just like a bit part. Yeah. You remember that Three Stooges thing they came out with a little while back, like 2012-ish or whatever? And
Barely.
it had Will Sasso in it and all that stuff.
Yeah, I'm trying to erase that from all history.
Yeah. I actually kind of like that movie, but whatever. It is what it is.
Oh, God.
It's kind of just like a loving tribute to the Three Stooges. You're either going to love it or hate it, I guess. He apparently was in an episode of Scrubs. Man, I don't know, I guess not, whatever. But, anyway, I didn't really do too much research on this movie. There wasn't a whole lot of trivia that was out there, except for one piece at the very end that I thought was funny, but we'll discuss it when we get to it. But anyway, what do you say we get into this thing and get to talking about it?
Yeah, let's do that before we totally lose the audience.
Yeah, I think we've malingered long enough.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna just say this right now. Whenever the movie opens, we see where this dude pulls up to Melvin, which is
it's
Wahlberg's character.
Thursday.
Yeah. All this happens over a span of like 3 days, basically.
Yeah, and they are kind enough to let us know which each day is. So it's Thursday.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's there's this guy that drops off these trash bags, and I guess I wasn't listening well enough, and everybody was asleep in the house, so I didn't want to crank it up too much. I couldn't tell what they were hauling in those trash bags until later on I found out what it was, and I was like, oh, gross.
No, it's Sammy the Knife.
Yeah, an actual person, so.
Sammy the Knife is chopped up into trash bags.
Yep.
They cut back to Melvin's house, and he is dumping the body into a hot tub in his bathroom. And he's
jacuzzi, whatever.
Yeah, and he's scrubbing the body parts or something.
Mm-hmm. All of a sudden, girlfriend Chantel comes in.
A beautiful black woman by the name of Chantel.
Yeah, really, really good looking woman. She comes in and she's just chewing his ass over $25,000, and
yeah, she's really concerned with the finances, not the dead dude in the bathtub.
Yeah, that was the great part, is the way that they shot it. You're like, oh crap, his girlfriend's gonna find out. He's gonna get in so much trouble. No, she knows everything that he's doing. She doesn't care. It's pretty funny. But yeah, they get
into a squabble, and as she walks out of the room, she says, where's your fiance?
Right.
So we know he has a different relationship as well.
Right. Yeah, Chantel is his side piece. Let me ask you this. Is it because this whole thing, like, they're basically doing this big old exposition dump kind of at the beginning. Does Chantel, like, handle his finances? Is the impression I got?
No, that's just his girl. That's
Oh,
just like
okay.
his mistress.
Oh, okay. But he's
she-
giving her all
he-
this money, I guess?
He pays for her mortgage. He pays for her car note.
I got you.
He pays for all our stuff.
Yeah, I got you. We get to a scene that's so 90s, I could pull my freaking hair out. Where
The
it's
workout
just
scene?
Yeah. It's just him in a punching bag. It shows him on a pommel horse at one point. Like, it's crazy.
He's shredded, bro.
He is. He was pretty ripped up. I was thinking to myself, like, when was it that he got really big? And he wasn't, like, freaking huge in this movie, but he was still in good shape, But,
Oh, he's shredded for sure. He's not
yeah.
as bulky as
Right.
like he was in Fear, but he's shredded.
Right. But
I turned to my wife in that scene and was like, "Is it getting hot in here, or is it just me?"
Good grief. Get out of here, man.
He got even hotter in the next scene.
Freaking
Go
yeah,
ahead.
we go to the locker room where, like, him and his boys are, like, chilling in their underwear, whatever. They go into the fact that one of the dudes, the Bokeem Woodbine's character, Crunch, has masturbated for the first time in his life last week. This dude that's, like, in his late 20s.
Straight jacket.
Yeah. And he said that he's been having sex ever since he was 10 years old, so he'd never felt the need to. And this whole, like, thing comes back a couple times, and it's pretty hilarious each time. It does.
Well, he's like in love with his hands.
Right. Yeah. That's pretty hilarious. I guess they're going out on a job, which you really don't know too much about. You know that they're kind of shady characters, because obviously they haul dead bodies in trash bags, but they get with the boys. So just to do the rundown, we got Melvin, we got Crunch, we got Cisco, and Vince. Am I leaving anybody out, Mike?
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah. They're all dressed up like some kind of construction worker or maintenance person, somewhat or another. And they're going to this building headed up to the 18th floor, where we see that there's, I guess, some sort of like a sex trafficking ring going on. Kind of deep stuff.
Yeah.
For such a silly movie, yeah.
Yeah, and they do the old movie trope where, like, they synchronize their watches.
Yeah. They do.
And the guy they're going after, he is. We walk in on him. The audience walks in on him, buying 3 blondes. Mm-hmm. With no tattoos.
No tattoos. How much was it he was paying? Like, was it 25?
50,000 a pice.
50,000 a piece, that's what it was.
And, like, even one of the girls takes it as an insult. She's like, 50,000?
Oh, man, there's so much stuff. Like, nowadays is... I guess back in the 90s, you could joke about sex trafficking, but it seems less funny nowadays, I guess, But,
Well, it's definitely not a funny topic.
no, but they're handling it very lightheartedly, I guess, in this movie,
Right.
Yeah. Anyway, so Crunch is sent down to cut the power to the entire building. And there's this funny little bit where they like, all right, 3, 2, 1. They do this countdown. They expect the lights to go out, and they don't. So
Right.
they like do another countdown, 3, 2, and then right after 2, the lights go out. They're like, fuck it, whatever, They bust into this room. Melvin does anyway, and he has like this crazy gun. Like anytime he shoots somebody, they like fly like 15 feet across the room. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's crazy. They're using flashbang grenades and
Lots of grenades.
Yeah, just like smoke grenades and all this stuff. Yeah, to take down all these guys, which Melvin is fairly proficient at. Long story short, he winds up going into the boss's room and basically kills everybody in there, except there's a couple guys that escape along with the guy that he's actually after. And then there's a dude in like the jacuzzi that's hiding where the girls are at that almost kills him and then doesn't at the last second. Melvin takes him out. And then like you see where is it? I guess Cisco and Vince are out just like chilling in the hall.
Yeah.
And yeah, they're pretty
Then
worthless.
they rush in and like start shooting the bodies that are on the floor.
Yeah. Totally worthless, these guys.
Yeah, but long story short, Melvin kills everybody by himself. No one else on the team does shit.
Except Crunch turn out the lights, but that's it. Yeah.
Right. You got scenes with Melvin doing like a bungee cord kills. You got scenes where he's doing breakdance kills.
I saw that. God, that's crazy. My favorite was when they finally get out of there, and he like puts his feet on the railing of like one side of the stairs, and then his head on the other, and then like rolls down the stairs while he's killing people. I was like, this is ridiculous, man.
Yep.
There's also a scene where Cisco hits on one of the sex traffic victims, which would absolutely be a no-go in a movie nowadays.
Yeah, and she turns him down. He calls her lesbian.
Man, you can't say that stuff now at all. That's so funny that it's so different nowadays. Oh my god.
Melvin ends up killing the boss in the elevator.
He does.
His main target.
Then all these henchmen are after him, and he has like this weird belt thing.
Yeah, they like start rushing in. He's like, "We gotta get out of here, guys!" And then he proceeds to like throw another crazy grenade that has like a liquid timer in it, and blows up the entire
or whatever.
Yeah, blows up the entire floor that he's in. But just before he blows it up, he jumps out a window with another like bungee cord attached to his belt.
Yeah, hooked onto this radiator or whatever. So the whole thing blows up, and he's just like hanging there. Yeah, that's pretty.
No,
cool.
his rope gets blown apart too.
Oh, does it? I didn't notice that.
Yeah, and he falls into a swimming pool.
Oh yeah. I remember that.
Yeah.
There's what is it? Also, we see Cisco like go to try to shoot like the guy that was the target or whatever, just so that he can like get paid money. He's like, oh, I think I saw a move, and like shoots him in the head or whatever, just so he can take credit for that kill.
Right.
Yeah, it comes into play a little bit again.
Well, it comes into play right after this. They all go back to their boss's house.
Paris.
Paris. He ends up calling it the House of Paris.
Yeah.
And Mel basically wipes his debt free. He owed $25,000 to the boss on credit, so he doesn't get paid for the job, but he gets the bonus for killing the head guy they were after.
Right.
Cisco says, "No, I killed that dude. Everybody in here saw me kill that guy." So Melvin reluctantly hands him the bonus.
He does. And that's kind of where you first see that Cisco's really out for himself. Not a whole lot of loyalty from that dude. But yeah. Isn't it right after that he goes to his fiance's house? Pam.
Right.
Yeah.
And he starts chugging Malox.
Yeah, he drinks a lot of Malox in this thing.
Yeah.
Is Malox still a thing? I don't buy a whole lot of antacid.
I don't know. I've never purchased Malox in my life.
No, for all you kiddies out there listening, first off, you should probably stop listening, because I don't want to be responsible for anybody's therapy or whatever. But along with that too, though, Malox was this thing back in the days that was really gross, and antacid along the same lines of Tums, I guess.
Yeah, it's like a chalky milk.
Pretty gross. But,
Yeah.
What is at first it's kind of weird. He winds up parking in his neighbor's driveway, and his neighbor's like, "Wrong house again, asshole."
Yeah.
Okay. I guess they're making a comment about like all these suburban houses all look the same, I guess. But whatever.
Yeah. What they call McMansions. Yeah.
Exactly. I live in one of them neighborhoods, but there's he has in his garage actually. There's this really cool like a pegboard like lining the wall where he has all these tools hung up, and so you flip it back and there's another one inside. You flip that back and there's like this huge ass gun cabinet where he just keeps all of this crap, you know.
A whole shit ton of grenades.
Oh yeah. We meet Christina Applegate, the fiance Pam, and that's where I wrote down Melvin likes Malox, because he's just like anytime he opens like a medicine cabinet, it's just lined with Malox, you know.
Yeah.
But,
She has him squeezed on her butt for a while.
yeah, I can't blame him there because, man, Christina Applegate, what in the hell? She was drinking her milk, man. That's all I gotta say.
She's a good-looking woman.
Beautiful woman. Better than Juliette Lewis. What is it? They talk a little bit about how, I guess Melvin is gonna meet Pam's parents, and she hasn't told him that he's not Jewish because she is.
Right. She hasn't told her parents that she's engaged. She hasn't told them anything, so she's having the folks up for the holiday weekend, and she's already spotted them like 50 grand. Because mom keeps having all this plastic surgery.
It's pretty bad.
We already know from all the Maalox he's been drinking, he's got something going on with his stomach, but they address it in this scene. I think he's got ulcers, man, from all the stress.
That's kind of what I'm thinking. There's a lot going on with this dude, so, you know. Yeah, he's a hitman, but he's the nice hitman with some sort of moral, gray area and whatnot, You're not supposed to think of him as like an evil guy or anything. But, her parents are, I guess, more important than anything else, really, is her parents are very strict, traditionally Jewish people, where they really don't want her to marry outside of the Jewish religion and all that other stuff, But, we get to, later on that evening, he's asleep in bed, and I didn't know if he was dreaming this, because it's kind of a weird little jump cut sort of thing, because it shows Chantel, and she's in bed with another dude, and she's like, fuck that dude, fuck his money, I'm just taking him for all he's worth, whatever.
Yeah, his girlfriend has a boyfriend.
Yeah, his side piece has a side piece, yeah, pretty bad. And and then he wakes up right after that. So I didn't know if he was dreaming that, but yeah, I got the impression that. And later on, you actually see the boyfriend, so I guess that's accurate. But yeah, she's not really paying anything. She's just taking his money and running, pretty much, Yep.
Then we're into Friday.
Yeah, we get this deal where right after he has that dream, he calls up one of his boys, Melvin does, and he's like, "Hey, that deal that hit the tomorrow, I'm in." And turns out we find a little bit more about it. They decide that they're going to kidnap this guy. I guess he's some sort of technology guru or something like that.
His name is Hiro Nishi.
And they're going to kidnap his daughter and hold her for hostage money, basically.
Right.
Yeah. And we find out, it's really funny because they're going through the whole scenario of how they're going to do it, and this dude has just money, copious amounts just laying around or whatever, and it's not a big deal. And then we cut to, they're like, well, you're bankrupt, That's pretty funny.
We find out that he was funding, his dream was to film a huge American blockbuster movie.
Yeah.
And it looks like it's his attorney, maybe, who tells him, you did fund actually the most expensive movie of all time,
and it failed hard.
It was it was a complete bust.
Mm-hmm. Did you get the name of the movie, Mike?
Welcome to the Golden Mist.
It was Taste the Golden Spray, I believe.
Taste the Golden Spray. That's way better than Welcome to the Golden Mist.
I agree. That would be a good sequel, though. So but
you can keep that one, Hero.
Right. Yeah, they'll bring it back. Have a cinematic universe for it.
I'd like to see that movie.
I agree. I would watch that. Oh, by the way, there is this running gag in the movie where there's this guy from Big Top Video, this video rental store. All you whippersnappers don't know what that is, but
he reminds me of who you might have been in high school.
Oh, get out of here. Don't be a douche.
He keeps calling up Melvin and threatening to kill him if he doesn't return his King Kong Lives DVD
King
or
Kong
VHS.
And then when he finally gets it in the store later, it's a great little payoff. But have you ever seen or heard of King Kong Lives, Mike?
No.
It is a really horrible movie. There's back in the 70s, they did a remake of King Kong, and it had Jeff Bridges in it and stuff like that. And so they made a sequel to it, and like apparently they went through and like put this like mechanical heart back in King Kong after he died and stuff, and he comes back to life, and I'm sitting back going, why would they do that? Whatever. I can't imagine anybody keeping King Kong Lives, but you know.
Well, King Kong Lives has its own little like storyline throughout this movie.
It kind of does. It's over at Chantel's house.
Yeah.
So whenever like he's over at Pam's house and the guy calls, he's like trying to keep it on the hush hush, you know, that he has this movie. But yeah, it's pretty funny. They go and they kidnap long story short, they kidnap the daughter, whose name is Keiko Nishi, at school. They like hijack this limo and pick her up.
I think it's important that we mention something before that.
Yeah.
Him and Cisco get into a little argument like while they're waiting to take the limousine.
Right.
And you find out Melvin reveals that his issue is he can't handle the thought of no one liking him. Because his boys are all calling him out on like, why is he taking care of both these women? He should dump both of them.
No one not liking him. Yeah.
Right. He can't handle the idea of someone not liking him. So that's why he's got all these stomach issues. That's why he's always getting taken advantage of. Because he wants people to like him.
Which is weird. They never go into that. Like why he has that complex, I guess. But, you know, whatever. It's a quirk of his, I suppose. But
and I mean,
but yeah,
I can totally relate, man. Like when I was a kid, I got taken advantage of all the time because like I just wanted people to like me.
Yeah. I felt like it was kind of weird that they didn't really elaborate too much, like story wise, into like what would cause something like that. I guess he's, you know, just one of those weird nuanced idiosyncratic things, you know, I guess.
I don't know, it's kind of strange. Normally, like, I mean, I grew out of that, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like, when I was a young adult, 18, 19, 20, I was like, man, fuck this. I'm not gonna be the nicest guy ever and have everybody just shit on me, so.
Yeah, I don't care at all now.
Yeah.
You know? Whatever. I did think it was funny in that scene we actually get to see where Crunch has like this thing that he's like squeezing to like exercise the strength of his hand.
His grip strength.
Yeah, man. That was so funny.
Straight jacking, bro.
Straight jacking, dude.
There's times, I'm gonna go ahead and address it now. There's times throughout the film, like he's like kissing his hands and like, like he knows he's getting ready to go have a jack session, so he like runs off giddily, like all excited.
That's pretty funny. That dude is pumped about beating his dick. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah. So they get the limo. They kill the limo driver.
Right.
Take his limo and they go pick up Nishi's daughter.
Yeah, Keiko.
Keiko, yeah.
Yeah. And Keiko is at school and she's with their boyfriend.
Douchebag named Lance.
The boyfriend is a freaking a-hole. Like, what a moron. He's like, hey, maybe you should get another ride, is what Melvin says. And he's like, no, I'm gonna ride with her. Okay. It's like, they're back in the back and they're kind of kissing and stuff like that. And then he tries to like rape her, like assault her. And
no, he does.
Yeah.
He doesn't try. He's straight like molesting her.
And that's when freaking Melvin's had enough of that and rolls down the freaking window and shoots him right in the face. It's pretty great. And so it's right after that they get out. Melvin meets with the rest of his crew. And she asks this really horrible line. She says, what are you, the Spice Boys or something?
Oh, yeah.
And that's aged so badly. Nobody knows what the Spice Girls are anymore. But
I thought it was funny.
Yeah, I guess so.
And then
I've been there.
Yeah, and then Cisco has her to like read the ransom note on a recording.
They give her this shitty note to read.
Yeah, she keeps making fun of them basically.
Right. Because they misspell everything, and so she's reading it exactly like they spell it. Like, this sounds awful. It's pretty great.
Then he tells her to, like, you know, wing it. So
right.
She starts calling him, like, all kinds of insecure
sexually
names.
repressed and all this shit, yeah.
She's pretty good in this.
Yeah, I like Keiko. She's not bad. How old is Keiko supposed to be, by the way?
Dude, she's in high school.
So that kind of gives a whole other creepy vibe to the end of the movie, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I was thinking, like, I mean, she's wearing a school uniform, so I was thinking she's in high school, right? But yeah, there's some other stuff going on later that makes that pretty.
The only way they can make this okay is if she's like an 18-year-old senior who's graduating next week.
Getting ready to graduate, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And he's like a 20-year-old.
Right. Yeah. Even then, yeah, it's 20-year-old hanging out with. Because I don't even know how old Mark Wahlberg. Let me look that up. How old this dude was when this came out.
Well, if he was 96, he's in his 20s.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking.
Or 98.
Right. Let's see. Mark Wahlberg, 1998. He'd have been. Yeah, he'd have been like 27. So still kind of get that creepy vibe going.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Which she is. She was born in 74. So.
Oh, okay.
What year was he? Yeah, what year was he born?
Oh, 71. So there's only like 3 years age difference, realistically. Yeah. So it's not bad. They decide after they make this recording, they finally write down just this short and sweet, like, give us $1 million or we'll kill your daughter, basically, is the note that they give to her to read. And so they're like, all right, well, we're gonna we'll call him later and give the play the recording or whatever, and we're gonna go home in the meantime. They're like, Melvin, you got the girl. And he's like, why do I have to deal with this, and so anyway, he drops the girl over off at Chantel's house
in the basement.
And he goes back over to Pam's house, and it's right about that time that her parents arrive.
Right.
And so there's this whole crazy thing that's going on because, once again, they don't know that she's engaged, and they certainly don't know that her fiance isn't Jewish. And so there's this whole thing with that. We cut back to where they are. Oh, what is it?
They're getting ready to do the phone
recording.
Call.
Yeah. And they have this trace buster
made by Nishi, by the way.
Right, I noticed that his name is on it. Yeah, it's kind of funny because there's like this whole scene was great because they're talking about how they have a trace buster, and so then Cisco's like, well, what if he has a trace buster and he busts through our trace buster? And he's like, well, I got a trace buster, and all this other shit.
Made by Nishi.
Right. It's so funny. It's right about that time we find out that Hiro Nishi is about to like honor kill himself because he's Japanese.
He's about to commit harikari.
Yeah. Oh, there you go. I didn't know the name of it, but yeah. And it's right about that time that he gets the phone call from Cisco. And who was it that was with him?
I don't know what that idiot's name is.
I don't know. He's not in it for very many scenes. I was at first thinking it was Vince, but I don't think that was Vince because he shows up at the end.
I don't know. He looks like Malibu's Most Wanted.
He kind of does. He's got that whole thing. What was that goofy guys? Oh, was that Jamie Kennedy?
Yeah.
Talking about a washed up career, man. Freaking Lou Diamond Phillips got him beat. Anyway, Nishi gets a call. And so anyway,
they fuck it up.
Yeah, they call the first time and it's like all those fucked up recordings. It's pretty funny. He just hangs up the phone
and goes about his harikari.
Right. And then they call him back and he gets the real message. And so he makes a phone call to Paris.
Happens to be his daughter's godfather.
Yeah, bad move.
So they're like super tight. Like they're showing us how close they are by showing us like pictures of Paris, Nishi, and Keiko all together.
It's a bad move. Nobody had any idea that Paris was wrapped up with these guys,
Right.
And so, yeah, it gets pretty nasty from there on out. We get to where, is it the next day again?
It's still that same day.
Oh, is it? Yeah, because Mom's talking about how she doesn't like him being German-Irish. And so we get to where Paris talks to Cisco and tells him that he needs to track down who has Keiko. and where to find him, so on and so forth.
Yeah, he's in charge of the operation to find Keiko.
Yeah.
And kill the people who have him. Or have
Right.
her.
There's this other running joke where they don't want Pam's dad to like drink at all.
Mort. His name is Mort.
Yeah. I have no idea why, but Mom's
You
talking
see
about
why.
him. Well, there you go. Yeah, he gets drunk later on and acts like an idiot.
Yeah. They
There's
say
this
he's
whole
a straight-
great bit where she talks about him being like a sexual dynamo, and it shows him like in the recliner with this big old fupa hanging out.
And he's just like burping uncontrollably.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. So anyway, I think it's after that we cut to the next day.
Yeah, it's Saturday, and like all the neighbors are out wearing their like luau shirts, and they're all
Right.
mowing the lawn, like in synchrony.
Yeah.
I guess they're trying to show us like they're in the suburbs.
Right. Suburbia is very, very, I guess, similar to itself. But yeah. So anyway, Chantel pops up over at Melvin's house, and she tells him that she's like sick of him owing her all this money or whatever. And so she like has this trash bag full of body parts and Keiko with her, and just like leaves him, and then dips out with her boyfriend. It's pretty funny.
Yeah.
And so we get to this weird. It's almost like an episode of like Scooby-Doo or something, where people are like going in and out of doorways and all this other crap, this simulated humor, I guess.
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah. Where basically he's running around the house because like there's this dog that keeps like trying to tear up this trash bag full of body parts. And in the meantime, we've got him trying to hide Keiko. And of course, the parents are running around trying to get ready because I guess they're going to synagogue or whatever. And which they keep calling temple. I've never heard a Jewish person refer to church as temple. It's always synagogue, but whatever. So at one point he winds up, he does something and like knocks Keiko in the head and knocks her out cold. And he just
slams the hatch down on the SUV.
Oh yeah, he throws her in the back and then slams the door and it busts her right in the head and she passes out in the back. Yeah,
Right.
That's what it is. In this stupid Ford Explorer.
Yeah, and
And
while
so,
he's out fighting with the golden retriever with that has the bag full of body parts,
Right.
Pam and her parents take off in the Explorer.
The neighbor says something else to him there, and I don't remember what it was, but that
Says
guy's...
you're disgusting or something like that.
I don't get it. That guy just hates Melvin for some reason, but
Everybody hates Melvin,
they really do.
even though
Which is
Melvin just wants to make everybody happy.
He wants to be liked by everybody, and nobody likes him.
Yeah.
Like, both of his girlfriends are sick of his shit, The people he works with hate him,
Yeah.
It's pretty funny. I never thought about it. That is pretty amusing. So I guess, they're going to go to synagogue, and he manages to stow away these body parts or whatever. And he freaks out because they're driving off with this Asian girl in the back seat, and so
Keiko's her name, Shane. She has a name.
Yeah, I guess so.
Her name's not Asian girl.
Asian girl. Whatever. They don't know her name, I guess was my point that I was getting at.
Okay, very well.
Yeah. So if she were to awaken, it would be some random Asian girl in the back of the car. But
And hilarious.
also very funny, yeah. Which they instantly write themselves out of that because Dad needs to go take a piss or whatever, and so he comes right back. So then
She
leaving
forgot
with
her
was
purse or
pointless.
something like that.
I think it was Dad needed to pee because Mom wouldn't get out of the car.
Yeah, but Pam did.
Oh yeah. I think you're right. And so he manages to get her out of the car, Keiko, and then
Right in front of everybody.
Yeah, he just wraps her in a sleeping bag, takes her in a house. They get to talking a little bit. Keiko and Melvin do not anything in particular, just romance building stuff. And then we see where Vince, I guess, calls. Oh, we get to the scene where Cisco is with Paris.
And everybody
And-
else.
Yeah, in Nishi's house, and they're waiting for him to call back so they can trace the phone call. And I don't know how deep we are with these tracker hacker things, at this point.
Well, they have a trace buster.
That's what it is, yeah. This is traceception. But yeah, so they're gonna trace this stupid call, and Cisco is just praying that Jamie Kennedy, I guess we're calling him, doesn't call.
It's not Jamie Kennedy.
No, it's not, but it looks just like him.
It's not fucking Jamie Kennedy.
He's kind of a loser, so I guess
Yeah,
I associate the two. Yeah.
He's this loser dude who's got a stutter.
Right. And
Somehow he decides that he can make the phone call. He can get his shit together and he can make the phone call.
Right. And so, sure enough, as soon as he does, we see Cisco, like, drops a cigarette out of his mouth. He's like, oh, shit, you know. And sure enough, they're able to track him. And so, Cisco's got to play along.
They're able to track him. So, God, I wish we knew his name. Vince is what you said his name was?
Vince is the guy at the end of the movie. That's Anthony Sabato Jr., but we can just call this guy Vince. It doesn't matter.
Okay, well, anyways, this dude... He makes the phone call, he gives the instructions, and Nishi pretends not to understand them.
Right. He's totally suckered him on this deal.
So he's able to get this dude to stay on the phone longer than the 30 seconds needed to trace him.
Mm-hmm.
And as soon as they get the trace, Paris gives the order, go get him.
Right. And, Cisco has to play along. He doesn't want to let in that he was part of the kidnapping or anything.
Right. And it's funny to me because they all jump in like Ford Aerostars.
Dude, and like old Plymouth Voyagers and like Dodge Caravans and shit. These are some shitty vans, even in 1998.
They all jump in a bunch of minivans.
Yeah. That's intimidating.
When's a bad guy car ever been a minivan?
I don't know. An old shit. These are early 90s model minivans.
Yeah, like champagne colored minivans.
Mm-hmm. These are between 8 and 10 years old. I'd be willing to bet. They're horrible. So they go through, they track Vince, the Paris Jews go after him. I think there's some other like character building stuff between Melvin and Keiko in between. But it's just weird dialogue. Mm-hmm. Kind of awkward.
They're both talking like really softly to each other.
Right. He gets
Cisco gets when they get to that guy's house that made the call. Mm-hmm. Cisco gets him to say Melvin.
Right. Melvin Smiley, yeah.
He's like, tell us everything you know, Melvin.
Right. It's like,
who has Melvin? The girl? Melvin. Right. And then finally the guy goes, Melvin. He's like, Melvin's in charge. And then he kills the guy.
Yeah, he kills him anyway. Like shoots him, which that would be a crappy way to go because it's actually like getting shot in the stomach is a pretty slow death, all things considered.
No, he stabs him in the chest, bro.
Oh, is that what it is? He stabs him?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought he got him like in the stomach for whatever reason.
No, he stabbed him right in his chest.
Oh, I must have been thinking of something else, but yeah. So yeah, Cisco kills him. And
you were thinking about the next scene where Keiko and Melvin have this weird turkey thing going on.
He's trying to make this like kosher dinner for his in-laws, or soon-to-be in-laws, I guess. And so they're making turkey and like, matzo and stuff like that, you know? Like random stuff. He only has one Jewish cookbook in the house. And she's having him... Right, she's trying to help, but she tells him she can't really because she still has handcuffs on. And so he takes the cuffs off, and she's kind of doing her thing. And then she's like, well, you know, she winds up tripping at one point, and so he takes the thing that's tied around her legs off. And so they're about to, like, kiss and stuff. They've been getting pretty close, and she, like, hits him upside the head with this big old mallet. Looks like something you crush crab shells with, you know?
You're totally skipping over the part where he's, like, finger popping the turkey.
Oh, yeah, and she's, like, rubbing it and all this other shit.
It's really strange.
This whole thing is strange, dude. There's a whole, like, Stockholm Syndrome thing going on, especially when you consider this girl's in high school. Like, Now, that's a problem I have with Keiko from the start, is she never acts like she's in any kind of danger. Like, as soon as she gets kidnapped, these guys are, like, making fun of her, or making fun of them, you know, and just insulting people, and now she's, like, hitting on one of them, you know, and shit gets weird, man. That's all I'm saying. But
it's very strange. Even after she hits him with the mallet, she attempts to run. She gets like 15 feet.
And then he's all over. Yeah.
Yeah.
So then he throws her ass in his Firebird, which I gotta say, that looked like it was an '89, and I actually used to have a Firebird like that, but it was white. Badass car, dude. Pretty sweet.
Yeah, they're cool cars. His is bright yellow.
Yeah, not as cool. But so yeah, it's right about that time that Pam and her parents get home from the synagogue, and you find out that I guess she's convinced Pam to break up with Melvin. So there you go. And
They sit down to eat,
Right.
and then Cisco and the crew show up.
You're missing out on one part is whenever Crunch calls and he tells him to leave the country or whatever.
Oh, right.
But there's this great thing. He has this giant fucking thing that he's using to like strengthen his grip on his hands. He's at this counter and like this lady brings him a bottle of lotion. He's like, I didn't say I wanted aloe vera and all this other crap. It's so funny,
I said
man.
Vanillin, not any of this aloe vera bullshit.
I think that's the last time we see Crunch, but man, he goes out in a blaze of glory because it had all built up to this scene, and it is really funny, man. But yeah, so it's right after that Melvin decides he's gonna dip out, and then he hears inside Cisco is talking to people in the house, and he's like, "Crap, I can't leave these guys in there," you know.
Oh yeah, he's literally like sitting in his car.
Yeah, he's just about to go. Yeah. And so it's right after that we get to the dinner scene where like Cisco and a bunch of Paris's dudes are all sitting around this table, and they're all talking to Melvin, and the dad decides he's gonna give this drunken toast, and he just starts insulting everybody.
Yeah, he calls his wife a horrible creature.
Yeah. And all the plastic surgery she's had, like $250,000 worth or whatever.
Yeah.
What's he say about Pam? I don't remember.
She's a gold digger.
Oh, that's what it was. Yeah. And he actually kind of says some okay stuff about Melvin at first, at least, you know.
He said he was too good for all this shit.
Yeah, he did. So, you know, I guess there's somebody that likes him, but, you know. So there's this great bit because while Dad's like walking around rambling, you see these guys and they're all getting their like guns and stuff like charged back and everything underneath the table, and then like just when everything's about to go down, the dad like barfs all over Cisco, which is great. I did not see that coming, man.
You didn't see that coming?
The dad puking on him? No, hell no.
Yeah, he was doing a lot of like like you could tell he was on the verge. He was drinking like rum and prune juice.
Oh yeah, the prune juice thing always comes back later on in the movie. Yeah. There's another great scene because after that, this big old shootout takes place, and for whatever reason, Cisco is like right in the vicinity with the dad, and so like you see the dad like lift his head up again, and like Cisco just holds up a pillow so he can vomit all over it and not get puke on himself.
Right.
It's pretty funny. So then it's right after that Melvin dips out. He goes, he's got Keiko, well, he talks to Pam first, and
He's like, you gonna break up with me?
right, yeah,
And she was like, yeah.
and then they crawl out. Yeah. We see where Melvin has left in the Firebird. He has Keiko with him, and there's this giant car chase.
Yeah, chase scene. This is when we
minivan.
learn why they like minivans. They get to like assemble some type of mega formation on this van. Where like they slide all the doors open, so there's like 4 dudes hanging out of each door. They got the back hatch open, so you got like 6 guys hanging out the back.
Which I would love to see one of those stupid Dodge Caravans go up against a freaking Firebird. There's no way they would have ever caught him, but whatever.
Somehow Chantel and her boyfriend are back in the mix.
Yeah, they said something. It was weird because this is dinner time, and they left that morning because they dropped off Keiko and that bag of body parts and dipped out. But she says something to the effect of, you said that your shortcut is shaved 4 hours off of our trip or whatever. And I was like, man, you guys got really lost if you're still in the same exact spot you were earlier.
Yeah,
like
she
12
says that.
hours
She's
ago.
like, now we're back where we started.
Right. Y'all are horrible at that, but yeah, Chantel's there. It ends up like this minivan with all these dudes crashes over the thing. Even Cisco's inside. The Firebird's trashed. Chantel's car is trashed.
But he
still drivable. But
yeah. And then what's his name? Melvin walks up, gets the case of money and his King Kong movie.
Yeah.
And he's like, "You were gonna keep this?"
That's so funny. Who likes King Kong Lives? I don't get it. Whatever. So yeah, it's right after that. Right after he leaves in the Firebird, we see where Cisco walks up to her and says something to the effect of, "You wouldn't have to know where he's going, would you?" or something.
Right. Do you have any idea where Melvin might be headed?
Mm-hmm. And then proceeds to take her car and chase after him. This is where he stops to return in the movie. Well, he's about to, and then
he stops.
He does stop, yeah. And then it's right after that he's like, "I'm gonna drop off this movie. You stay right here and think about it, or you stay out in the car and think about it. And if you're still there, then you can come with me or whatever." And it's right after that Cisco like rams into him and winds up knocking the car off a cliff. Which is like crazy.
Lands right in the trees.
Yeah, right in the trees, man.
Like on its wheels in the trees.
Right. Yeah, it lands perfectly sitting there. You bet. He winds up. They escape out of the car, which is it's just funny imagery. That car sitting there, because that branch is like super small anyway. It probably wouldn't hold up me, much less a car with two people in it. But whatever.
We can call it what it is. It's fucking retarded.
It is fucking retarded.
Because you got Keiko and Wahlberg Melvin are running, and Cisco's driving that car, and he's just driving through trees.
Yeah, plowing them down. It doesn't stop that car at all.
Yeah, he's doing like 8 to 10 inch round trees, and he's just running right through them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that car would be done, dude. But yeah, they managed to. It's like you were saying, they're running around. It's kind of funny because they just happened to be from where that car, the Firebird landed, like this ledge that was just big enough so they could like shimmy their way off this cliff, whatever. Basically, after they chase around Melvin for a while, like he's running through the woods and like drops his tape and like looks back and it's sitting there, and like Cisco's just sitting in the car staring at him, and so like Melvin runs back, grabs the tape, Cisco takes off after him and winds up wrecking the car for good. He rams it back into the cliff that they were just hanging off of, and it's right after that. What is it that I think a car just falls?
Yeah.
But, yeah. Cisco doesn't realize the car's falling, and so like Melvin like punches him in the face, dives out of the way, and then the Firebird falls onto Chantel's car.
With Cisco in it.
Yeah, with Cisco in it, you bet. So then they finally he gets to go back to the movie rental place, the Big Top Video, I guess. And I gotta say, Big Top Video looks awesome, dude.
I knew you would like it.
Yeah, I was a fan. Me and Mike actually, we went a couple months ago into a Family Video that was right down the street from Mike's house, just to check it out because we hadn't been in a video store in probably 10 years or more.
It's been a long time.
Yeah, I'm a junkie. I like that stuff. Anyway, they go in there and the guy's like, "Oh, Melvin Smiley," and he's feeling like he's got the upper hand, and
he's like, "You actually showed up, huh?"
Right. What do we got here? Late fees, and oh, you didn't rewind it, and all this other shit.
You're fucked now.
Right. It's really, this guy's trying to like hand it to him. Yeah, it's pretty great. And so, what is it? He's like going through. He's about to looks like he's about to threaten this dude. He like grabs him by the collar, and he's like, "You know what? I'm never coming here ever again." Basically.
Right.
It's pretty great. Right after that, we find out that Cisco is still alive.
And in the store.
Yeah, and so I guess that's what Chantel told him was where he was going to be, was at the stupid video store.
Really stupid.
Yeah. And so there's this big fight scene that goes down. These guys are fighting. Of course, Cisco has knives, and Melvin does not. We get to see kind of a payoff to this whole thing with Crunch and the masturbation, where like they have these posters of like the number one customer or whatever rental, and like we see where Crunch's poster is up because he was like the #1 adult video rental customer or whatever.
Yeah.
Pretty great.
This guy rents the most porn.
Right. Everybody's got to be good at something, Mike.
And he's all smiling in the poster and shit.
Yeah, he's real proud of himself. So anyway, it gets to Melvin winds up. There's this big fight that they end up on like this thing, like this scaffolding in the middle of the store, and so basically Melvin has kind of the upper hand. He winds up stabbing Cisco, and then he doesn't realize at the time, but Cisco's like activated his magnet bomb that's on his belt, and so anyway, Melvin is he manages to escape. Keiko's out there, and then he sees Paris's dude show up. And
Yeah,
so,
they all start shooting at him, so he turns around and runs right back into the store that has the bomb that's about to explode.
which is funny. He didn't have a plan for how he's going to make it. I don't know what he was trying to accomplish by running back in, but whatever. So yeah, he runs back in, and so we see the thing explode. Pretty much that part of it, anyway. You see Keiko, she's back at school. Then there's a limousine, comes and picks her up. The dude that picks her up, that's Vince, the one that's in the driver's seat of the limo.
Oh, right.
Yeah. So I don't know the other dude's name. But yeah, I guess what happened was he stops, and then sure enough, Melvin hops in the car. And I guess what happened was there was like this big, giant display for her dad's movie.
They're all gold plated.
Right. Oh, because the high budget stuff, yeah.
The attorney points that out at one point in the movie. He's like, all the displays have to be gold plated. And I guess Melvin laid down underneath one, like pulled it on top of himself, and so when it blew up, the display saved him.
Right.
And he takes Kiko, he picks her up, and then they take Cisco's boat off into the sunset.
Yes, that's it. Did you notice the little bit of trivia that I caught was the name of the boat? Did you happen to grab what it was, Mike?
Oh, I don't know. I didn't.
It was the Grande Pinocha.
Oh, yeah?
Which is big pussy in Spanish, yeah. It's so dumb.
That's funny.
I love it. But yeah, so that was the big hit. And what did you think about that one, Mike?
Well, it's not often in my life where I have to own up and eat my own words. But that fucking movie was terrible.
Yeah. Well,
once again, 1998 gives us a fucking stinker, dude.
Big old turd. So I kind of had a different take on it because I didn't really know what to expect, man. Whenever I went to go turn this thing on, the trailers, like I said, made it look like it was just craziness going on, and so I was like, I wasn't even looking forward to watching it really. I think that there's some tonal issues and there's some definite insensitivity when it comes to like Stockholm Syndrome and human sex trafficking and stuff like that. But I will say, I was entertained when I watched this thing. It never left me like, man, this is so boring, because it was never boring during this entire movie.
The acting is terrible.
Oh, it's awful. Some of the worst.
Lou Diamond Phillips had this like ghetto affliction to his like speech that I just couldn't get past. Mark Wahlberg sounded like he was whining most of the time.
Right.
Remember, I'm a Wahlberg fanboy.
Right. It kind of sounded like that though in because Boogie Nights came out the year before this, and he sounded the same way there, you know.
Oh, he's so much better in Boogie Nights though.
Yeah, that was a better like ensemble cast. It's just a better movie all around, really. But yeah,
I don't know, man. The effects were terrible.
Oh yeah, especially as we were jumping out of the building, it was bad, real bad. There was a lot of coincidence that takes place in this movie. You really have to shut your brain off. You know, like the whole like some of this is they're going for laughs, and I think a lot of it just fell flat for me. Like where he's trying to hide Keiko, and the dog's chewing at the bag with the body parts in it and all that. I was like, I get why they think this is funny, but I don't find it very funny.
Yeah, they couldn't figure out. It was like a slapstick comedy meets action movie.
Right.
And they didn't do either one of them very well.
No, they didn't. The action's too stupid, I think, and the comedy's not funny. What was the other thing that I was thinking of? It was I guess I don't remember, but yeah, I mean, there was this whole series of movies that came out in the late 90s, and I think a lot of them were trying to copy off of like Pulp Fiction, and this wasn't necessarily copying off of that, but whenever I watched this movie, I was thinking of the movie Go, which I think did borrow a lot from that movie, from Pulp Fiction, and the two are both kind of crazy. Go's a way better movie, but yeah, the late 90s had all this stuff, man. It was like they're just throwing spaghetti at a wall to see what would stick, you know? And
this is going to be a rough year, bro.
Yeah, it is. We're in April right now.
We should have maybe waited till 99 to start this bad boy up, because the list of movies that are in front of us for 98, there's a couple of golden ones in there, but there's a lot of turds.
Well, see, Golden for you is different than Golden for me, like Armageddon. Like, you love that movie, so...
Greatest movie of all time.
I would disagree wholeheartedly. I would probably watch Lost in Space before I watched Armageddon again.
Oh, boy.
I did not care for that. Go ahead.
Side note is I heard that the Netflix series is really good.
I watched an episode of it. I wasn't that impressed.
Really?
So, yeah.
I haven't seen any of it, but a few of my friends on Facebook have said that they watched the whole series in 2 days.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
My only gripe with it is that I think that they kind of... There's like this social justice worry type of crap that's going on there, and I'm just not a fan. Like at one point, the dad,
I haven't seen it.
Yeah, well, you saw the movie, so you're familiar with the characters, at least their names. But like the John Robinson character, he's this guy that he was in the military or whatever, and so he wound up doing this mission for a couple years.
I'll watch the show.
Yeah. But they just make it look like he's a deadbeat and he's a buffoon, you know. Mom's the one that's really running things. She's the one that's super smart, you know. And I'm just like, whatever, man. You know, I might have to give it a few more episodes to make a final judgment, but I didn't care for it that much. But,
so
anyway.
Would you recommend The Big Hit to a friend?
Probably not.
I wouldn't.
No. I mean, you have to really like Mark Wahlberg to get anything out of this, you know. And he's got his good share of horrible movies, but he has his good share of good movies, and this is not in the latter column. What's crazy to me to think about is from this movie until his version of Planet of the Apes, only 3 years had lapsed.
Really?
Yeah, that blows my mind, dude.
That's crazy.
Yeah, because it seems like, you know, the Planet of the Apes that he did was so much more modern, you know, than this thing. You know, this has aged horribly, so.
It really has.
Yeah.
That's where you see that $13 million budget.
Yeah. It was, yeah. I don't know if it was budget problems or what, but yeah, it had some issues.
It's definitely budget problems. I mean, they rolled out, like, the sports car for the hero of the film is a 1980-something Firebird.
That's true. I had one of those. I paid like $2,000 for it. So yeah, right out of high school.
Yeah, I had a 1985 Camaro Z28.
Oh yeah,
that was a pretty similar body style to that.
Yeah, I think the major difference was the headlights. Mine popped up, yours didn't. So yeah.
Right, and I bought it for almost nothing back when this movie came out.
There you go. Pretty sad.
Matter of fact, I got the car so cheap I just gave it to my brother.
You know, it's funny because, like, looking at this, I was sitting there watching it. I was like, that looks like the old Firebird I used to have, you know, like, but yeah. So, no, that's, I guess that's going to be a no from my camp on that one. Do you recall what we're watching next week?
Is it He Got Game?
He Got Game with Denzel. It's our first Spike Lee joint.
That's the basketball film with Ray Allen in it, right?
I think so, yeah. I don't watch basketball like at all. I watch Star Trek instead. So, but
I've come to figure out that like you're the movie nerd and I'm like the movie fan.
Oh yeah, there you go. But yeah, let's see who's in that one. I know that it has Denzel because I'm top dog when it comes to my Denzel movies. It has Mila Jovovich. Yeah, Ray Allen plays Jesus Shuttlesworth. Oh, Rosario is in it.
Yeah,
that's good. She's a great actress. Always fun to watch. And
it's
Ned
got a good
Beatty.
cast. You've never seen it?
Never seen it. Ned Beatty.
My gut wants me to tell you it's really good.
Yeah.
But I said that about The Big Hit, and I was completely wrong.
Right.
So I will watch it and give you my opinion beforehand.
So the thing about it, though, was whenever you saw The Big Hit was 20 years ago. Back then, it probably was good, but...
It couldn't have been.
No, you don't think so?
No, there's no way it changed.
Yeah, well, I mean, but you have a different set of standards, I guess.
Well, yeah, I'm not half retarded.
You're full retarded now. So
when you're a 19-year-old boy, because you're not a man when you're 19, so when you're a 19-year-old boy, like, your brain just doesn't work the same, you know? I'm like, ooh, hot Christina Applegate.
Ooh, an explosion. Yeah.
Ooh, hot black woman, Chantel. Ooh, hot Asian chick named Kiko.
Right.
Bomb, grenade, shoot 'em up.
Right. Are we...
Firebird, cool movie.
Just real quick, are we going to go into the whole, like, her ending up with Melvin? Because that was strange, bro, at the end. I guess we kind of alluded to it already.
Yeah, we already talked about it.
Yeah, that hit me the wrong way, dude. You got a girl in a school uniform hooking up with old dude that, he's at least 25 in this, but they never really say. I didn't care for that.
He's old enough to have 2 houses and 2 relationships and...
Right? And what's funny is he tells her that he's got, he's got his fiance and then he's got a side piece. And she's like, oh, really? That sounds crazy. And, like, still wants to go for it. Whatever, man.
Fucking weird.
Anyway, I guess that's all I got to say about it, man.
Same.
Yeah, well, make sure you guys join us next week for He Got Game. You can also, if you have anything you want to tell us or something that is entirely necessary, you can email us at cheesymovie@yahoo.com. You can like us on Facebook, join our page. It is Casino Royale with Cheese, all separate words. Our YouTube handle, Casino Royale W Cheese, all one word. It's the same thing for Twitter and Instagram. And wherever you get your podcast is also Casino Royale W Cheese, one word. And I think that's going to be it for me, homie.
Yeah, and when you see us post the podcast, either via the iTunes or through the YouTube or whatever, like and share it.
Yeah, absolutely.
I can tell you our listenership has doubled in the last few weeks.
We won't say what it doubled from and what it doubled to.
Nope.
No.
I sure won't.
We'll just say it's growing like wildfire,
Anyway. That's all I got, man. Let's get out of here.
All right. Well, y'all take it easy. We'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.
I'll be back.